Hello, sleepy science listeners, and welcome back to another quiet journey through the mysteries of the cosmos. Tonight, we travel to the very edge of everything we know. The outer boundary of the observable universe. Beyond that line, no telescope can see, no light can reach, and yet our minds can still wander there. So take a deep breath, let your body rest, and allow your thoughts to drift far beyond the stars, into the unknown silence that waits beyond the edge of the universe. The universe as we see it has a boundary, but it is not a wall or a border. It is a limit created by light and time. Since the beginning, light has been traveling through space, moving outward from the first moments of creation. The farthest light that has had time to reach us marks the horizon of what we can observe. It is like standing on the shore of a cosmic ocean, seeing only as far as the waves of light have carried us. Beyond that horizon, there may be endless space, but its light has not yet arrived. This horizon is not the edge of the universe itself, only the edge of what we can see. Space may continue beyond, stretching in every direction without end, or perhaps folding back upon itself like the surface of a vast sphere. The light we see today comes from galaxies so distant that their glow began its journey billions of years ago, long before our planet existed. Every photon that reaches us is a message from the deep past, a whisper from a time when the universe was young. When you look at the night sky, you are not seeing the present. You are looking backward in time. Each star, each galaxy, each faint glimmer of light tells a story from another era. And somewhere, beyond the farthest glow our instruments can detect, there lies darkness, not empty, but unseen. It is a realm where light has not yet arrived, where time itself moves differently, stretched by the expansion of space. The edge of the observable universe is about as far as light could travel since the beginning of everything. But that distance is not fixed. Space itself expands, carrying galaxies farther apart as time passes. The light that reaches us now was emitted long ago, from places that have since moved far beyond where that light began. The edge, then, is not a solid boundary but a moving horizon, receding faster than we can chase it. To imagine what lies beyond that horizon is to step beyond the limits of experience. It is to think of places where light has never been seen, where time may not flow as we know it, where the laws of physics may be written in another form. Perhaps there are galaxies like ours spinning in the quiet dark, unseen and unreachable. Or perhaps the fabric of space itself changes beyond that boundary, curving into regions where matter cannot exist at all. The truth is that the edge of the universe is not the end. It is simply the limit of what our eyes can touch. Beyond it, the universe may go on forever, infinite and unbroken. Or it may loop back upon itself, so that traveling far enough in one direction would eventually bring you home. In either case, the edge is not an ending but a mystery, the line between what we know and what we can only imagine. So as you lie here listening, picture yourself drifting toward that boundary. The stars thin out, the galaxies fade into a faint blue mist, and then there is only silence, vast, gentle, infinite. Beyond that silence lies more of the same, endless and eternal. The universe does not stop. It only stretches further, always beyond reach, always waiting to be discovered. The universe does not sit still. It moves, stretches, and grows. What we call the edge of the observable universe is not a fixed border. It is a horizon that expands every moment. Space itself is growing, and as it does, it carries galaxies away from one another like islands drifting on an invisible sea. The expansion does not push galaxies through space. Instead, it stretches the very fabric of space between them. Imagine dots drawn on the surface of a balloon. As the balloon inflates, the dots move apart, yet none of them are traveling through the surface. The surface itself is expanding. The same happens with galaxies in our universe. Every moment, the space between them grows larger, and the more distant a galaxy is, the faster it seems to move away. It is not running from us. It is being carried by the flow of space itself. Because of this expansion, the farther we look, the older the light we see. Some of the light reaching us tonight began its journey more than 13 billion years ago, when the first galaxies were just forming. Those distant galaxies are now far beyond the place where their light began. Space has stretched so much that they are no longer where they were when their light was released. The past we see in the sky no longer exists in the same way. This stretching of space also stretches the light itself. The waves of light grow longer, their color shifting toward red as they travel. This is known as redshift, the signature of expansion. When astronomers measure how much the light has stretched, they can tell how fast the universe is expanding, and even how its pace has changed over time. The expansion is not slowing as once believed. It is accelerating, driven by a mysterious force we call dark energy. Dark energy is one of the deepest mysteries of all. It fills the universe invisibly, pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. We do not know what it is or where it comes from. Some think it is the energy of space itself, the quiet pressure that comes with existence. Others believe it may change with time, growing or fading as the universe evolves. Whatever it is, dark energy controls the destiny of everything, deciding whether the universe will expand forever or someday slow and collapse. Because the universe expands faster than light can travel, there are regions we will never see. Even if we waited for eternity, their light would never reach us. They are forever beyond our horizon, lost to time and distance. In those unreachable regions, other galaxies shine, other stars burn, but their light is imprisoned by the growth of space. The universe hides its farthest parts not behind walls, but behind motion itself. In a way, this expanding horizon defines our place in the cosmos. We are surrounded by a visible sphere of light, our observable universe, and beyond it lies the unseen vastness, unreachable yet real. The boundary is not made of matter or energy, it is made of time. What we can see is what light has had time to show us. What lies beyond is what light has not yet had time to tell. To stand at the edge of this thought is to feel the immensity of existence. We are small, yet we are part of something that never ends. The galaxies that drift away will keep shining, their light traveling through the growing fabric of space, their stories forever expanding. The edge of the universe moves outward like the breath of creation, endless and serene. And so, the question of what lies beyond that edge is not just about distance. It is about time, about change, about the very nature of being. The universe has no center, no outer wall. Wherever you are at the center of what you can see. Beyond your horizon lies more of the same, infinite, dark, alive. The cosmos grows quietly, breathing through expansion, whispering through starlight, stretching toward the unknown. The edge is not an end, but a promise that there is always more beyond what we know, always light still on its way, always mysteries waiting in the distance where time and space continue to unfold. Most of the universe cannot be seen. The stars, planets, and glowing galaxies that fill our telescopes are only a thin layer of light, floating in a vast, invisible ocean. What lies beyond the edge of what we can see is not empty space, but the unseen universe, a realm made of matter that gives no light and energy that cannot be touched, yet shapes everything that exists. Astronomers call the first hidden ingredient dark matter. It neither shines nor absorbs light, but its gravity reveals its presence. Galaxies spin too fast to be held together by the stars we can see alone. Something unseen, something massive, surrounds them, keeping them from flying apart. This invisible matter forms halos around galaxies, creating a framework that holds the cosmos together. Without it, there would be no stable galaxies, no stars, no life. Dark matter is everywhere. It flows through the Milky Way, through the solar system, even through you, passing silently and without touch. Though we cannot see or feel it, its gravity connects every corner of the universe. It is the hidden skeleton of creation, the unseen structure upon which light is painted. The galaxies we observe are like dust upon the surface of this invisible web. But there is another hidden presence, dark energy, a force far stranger and more powerful. While dark matter pulls things together, dark energy pushes them apart. It fills the void between galaxies, driving the expansion of the universe, stretching space faster than gravity can hold it. Together, dark matter and dark energy make up nearly all of existence. While everything we can see, every star, every atom, every bit of light, is only a tiny fraction of the whole. The unseen universe is not a place we can reach, but a reality we live within. Every star you see is wrapped in invisible matter, surrounded by dark energy's silent pressure. Even the emptiness between galaxies is alive with forces we cannot detect directly, but can sense through their effects. The universe is not a black sea with islands of light. It is a living structure made of both light and shadow, motion and stillness. Beyond the observable horizon, this unseen universe continues endlessly. The same web of dark matter stretches into the distance, its filaments connecting galaxies we will never see. These filaments twist and fold, shaping the large-scale pattern of the cosmos, a pattern too vast to comprehend. It is like a cosmic nervous system, carrying the energy of existence across unimaginable distances. In some distant regions beyond our reach, the universe may look almost the same as it does here. Galaxies, stars, planets, and perhaps even life. But in other places, the balance may be different. The density of matter, the speed of expansion, or the nature of physical laws might not match our own. We do not yet know. The unseen universe could be familiar or entirely alien, mirroring our world or revealing new forms of being that we cannot yet imagine. Even here, in our corner of space, we only glimpse the surface of what exists. Our instruments see wavelengths of light, but most of the spectrum remains invisible to our eyes. Radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays. Each reveals a different layer of the universe, but none show it all. Every image we take is partial. Every discovery a piece of a much larger whole. This hidden structure is not just mystery, it is beauty. The universe keeps secrets not to deny us knowledge, but to invite us deeper into wonder. The darkness beyond our sight is not emptiness, but potential, a reminder that existence is far greater than we can see. The unseen universe is the shadow of infinity, the quiet proof that there is always more beyond the edge of light. As you listen, imagine floating at the border between what is seen and unseen. Behind you, galaxies glow like lanterns in the dark. Ahead of you, the light fades into silence, and the stars dissolve into invisible shapes. Yet even there, in the calm darkness beyond sight, the universe continues, alive, infinite, and in motion. When we ask what lies beyond the universe, we are really asking what shape the universe has. Is it endless, stretching forever into the unknown? Or does it curve back upon itself, forming a grand loop where beginning and end become the same? The truth, as far as we can tell, is both simple and astonishing. Space may have no edge at all. It may be boundless, yet finite, like the surface of a sphere so vast that its curvature can never be seen. Imagine walking on Earth. You can travel in one direction forever, crossing oceans and continents, yet you will never find a wall that marks the edge of the world. You will only circle back to where you began. The universe could be the same, not flat and endless, but curved in higher dimensions. If you could journey far enough, through unimaginable distances, you might return to the point where you started, though by the time you did, everything would have changed beyond recognition. Scientists describe this curvature using the geometry of space itself. Space can bend, twist, and stretch under the influence of gravity and energy. The presence of mass shapes the fabric of the cosmos, like a weight placed on a soft surface. Where the universe is dense, space curves inward. Where it is empty, it flattens. If the total density is just right, space may be perfectly balanced. Neither open nor closed, infinite yet self-consistent, vast beyond understanding yet without true edge. We can never step outside the universe to see its shape from above, but we can read its geometry through light. The cosmic background radiation, the faint afterglow of the first light ever released, carries the signature of the universe's curvature. So far, that light tells us something remarkable. The universe appears nearly flat, stretching far beyond the limits of observation. But nearly may not mean completely. Over scales larger than we can see, even the slightest curve could close space upon itself, creating a cosmic circle of infinity. Infinity itself is not a distance, but a condition. It is not a place that exists somewhere far away, but the property of never-ending. In the universe, infinity may mean that no matter how far we go, there will always be more galaxies, more stars, more time. Yet it could also mean that space is finite but unbounded, looping in a dimension beyond our perception. Either way, the effect is the same. The journey never ends. Some theories suggest that our universe might be part of a larger structure, a kind of cosmic foam where countless universes bubble and expand beside one another. Each universe could have its own laws, its own forms of matter, even its own version of time. They may never meet, separated by realms where space folds upon itself. The edge of our universe, then, might not be the end of reality, but the border of one cosmic sea among many. If this is true, then infinity is layered. A hierarchy of worlds, each complete within itself, each turning and expanding in silence. The laws that govern our universe might be only one verse in an endless song, one rhythm among countless others. And yet, from within, each universe feels whole, infinite, and self-contained. To its inhabitants, there is no outside, only the boundless horizon of light. But even if our universe stands alone, its scale defies comprehension. Beyond the reach of our telescopes, beyond even the farthest light, lies more space, more galaxies, more of everything. There may be no repetition, no border, no final limit. The fabric of space might continue forever, each region unique, each filled with its own patterns of stars and dust. Infinity, in this sense, is not cold or empty. It is full, alive, and endlessly creative. If you close your eyes and imagine drifting through that infinite expanse, there is no edge to meet, no wall to strike, no place where space ends. You would move forever, passing galaxies that shimmer like distant cities, clouds of glowing gas, and the dark rivers of unseen matter that thread between them. The journey would have no destination, because in infinity, every point is equally central, and every direction leads forever onward. So what lies beyond the edge of the universe? Perhaps nothing at all, because perhaps there is no edge. The universe is not a box, not a bubble suspended in emptiness. It is all there is, expanding within itself, complete yet infinite, quiet, yet full of motion. Its shape is not one we can draw or see, but one we can feel in the logic of its beauty, endless, balanced, and serene. And somewhere within that vastness, on a small blue world that spins beneath an ordinary star, we look out and wonder. Our curiosity is the reflection of the universe, thinking about its own shape, our thoughts small echoes of its infinite rhythm. To ask what lies beyond is not to search for distance, but to recognize that beyond every horizon, there is always more mystery, more motion, more quiet wonder. The word edge makes us imagine an end, a border, a final line where something stops and nothing lies beyond. But in the universe, the edge is not like that. It is not a wall we could touch or a curtain that hides another world. It is an illusion, a boundary drawn by our senses and the reach of light. The universe does not end where our vision fades. It only continues, quietly and endlessly, beyond what light has had time to show us. When you look out into the night sky, what you see is limited by time. Light takes time to travel, and even though it moves faster than anything else, it still has a speed. The most distant galaxies we can observe are not special in themselves. They are simply the farthest whose light has reached us since the beginning of everything. Beyond them, other galaxies exist, but their light is still on its way. The edge we see is only a horizon, not a border. This is why astronomers call it the observable universe. It is the part of the cosmos that light has revealed to us, like a faint circle of vision in an infinite fog. Outside that circle, the universe does not stop. It simply remains unseen. The edge is not something out there. It is something within us, a limit of perception. As time passes, as more light arrives, that horizon moves outward, and our view of the universe grows wider. In a sense, we are not standing at the center of the universe. We are standing at the center of what we can see. Every observer, no matter where they are, finds themselves in the same position. From any point in space, the visible universe stretches equally in all directions, forming a perfect sphere of light around the observer. This means there is no single edge, no privileged center. Every place is the center of its own observable world. The illusion of the edge is created by the way space and time intertwine. When we look far into the distance, we also look back in time. The galaxies we see at the horizon of visibility are not as they are now, but as they were long ago, when the universe was young and dense and bright. Their present selves have moved farther away, carried by the expansion of space, perhaps beyond any hope of ever being seen again. What we call the edge is a layer of history, frozen in light. If we could somehow travel beyond that horizon, we would not find a void but more of the same. More stars, more galaxies, more cosmic webs stretching into the distance. The scenery might change, the shapes might vary, but the essence would remain. Space does not end. It only continues, without boundary and without pause. The illusion of an edge is born only from our point of view, from the limits of our instruments and the patience of time. The universe hides its vastness, not out of secrecy but out of scale. It is too immense for light to fill, too old for time to complete. The edge is a moving frontier, expanding as the universe expands, inviting us always to wonder what lies beyond. Every discovery, every new telescope, every captured photon pushes that boundary farther, revealing more of the endless tapestry. Yet no matter how far we see, there will always be more waiting in the dark, more beyond the edge of the next horizon. This illusion teaches something profound about our place in existence. We live inside a universe that reveals itself slowly, in layers of light and time. We can never see it all at once, but that is what gives it beauty. The mystery is not a flaw, but a feature, the universe's way of keeping our curiosity alive. There is always more to learn, more to feel, more to imagine. So when we ask what lies beyond the edge of the universe, we are really asking about ourselves, about the limits of perception and the reach of imagination. The answer is not a wall or a void, but an invitation. Beyond every horizon lies another, and beyond that, another still. The universe is not hiding its end from us. It is showing us that there is no end to seek. If you could drift forever through the stars, you would never reach the place where space stops. You would only move from one horizon to another, each revealing a little more of infinity. The edge is an illusion, a mirror that shows how small our window is in the face of eternity, and how beautiful that smallness can be. And in that realization, there is peace, because to know there is no end is to know that we belong to something endless. To see the illusion of the edge dissolve is to understand that we are already within infinity, carried by it, surrounded by it, forever part of its quiet expansion. The universe expands, but it does so without sound, without waves of noise or bursts of thunder. Its growth is silent, steady, and constant. Space stretches quietly, carrying galaxies apart as though guided by an unseen hand. This is the silent expansion, a movement so vast and gentle that even light must bow to its pace. When we speak of the universe growing, it is not as if the galaxies themselves are rushing through space. It is the space between them that grows. The galaxies remain where they are, yet the distance separating them increases, as though the fabric of reality itself is being woven ever wider. Imagine dots drawn on a stretching sheet. The dots do not move, but the sheet expands, and with it, the distance between every point grows larger. This expansion is not violent. It is calm, even graceful. There is no center from which it spreads, no outer edge toward which it moves. The universe expands everywhere, all at once, evenly and endlessly. Every point in space is part of the expansion, every particle of matter carried gently within the cosmic flow. It is not an explosion but a quiet unfolding, the natural consequence of creation itself. The silence of this expansion is profound. Sound requires air, or gas, or some medium through which it can travel. The spaces between galaxies are nearly empty, thinner than any vacuum we could ever create. There is no air to carry vibration, no surface to reflect an echo. The universe grows in complete stillness, and yet its movement never stops. It is a kind of eternal breathing, a slow rhythm without beginning or end. This motion is guided by a force we cannot see, the mysterious presence called dark energy. It is everywhere, filling every corner of space, pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. Unlike gravity, which pulls, dark energy repels. It does not roar or flash. It simply acts, quiet and relentless. Through it, the universe expands not because of momentum, but because expansion is built into its nature. If we could watch this expansion from outside, though there is no outside, it would look like an ocean rising in every direction. The galaxies would drift apart like ships carried by invisible tides, their light fading slowly as space stretches the waves of radiation that escape them. The light does not stop, but it grows softer, longer, cooler, redder, until one day it slips beyond the reach of sight. The universe is expanding not only in size but in quietness, moving ever closer to stillness. Over unimaginable spans of time, this expansion will continue. Galaxies will drift so far apart that their light can no longer cross the void between them. The night sky will empty, and distant stars will fade from view. Yet even then, the universe will not stop growing. It will keep stretching, softly, patiently, endlessly. The silence of expansion is not the silence of death, but of balance. The slow transformation of energy into space, of light into distance. This silence carries a strange comfort. It reminds us that motion does not always mean noise, that change can be gentle and still. The universe teaches us that growth can be quiet, that creation can happen without chaos. Every moment, space expands around us, and yet we feel nothing. The galaxies move, and yet our sky remains calm. We live within this serenity, carried by it, surrounded by it, unaware of how completely it holds us. Even now, the light from distant galaxies is being stretched by this expansion. The photons that touch your eyes tonight began their journey when the universe was young. They have traveled across billions of years of growing space, their waves lengthened by the silent breath of the cosmos. When you look at starlight, you are seeing motion slowed by time, light softened by the universe's quiet growth. The silent expansion is the background of everything, the stage upon which all stories unfold. Stars are born, planets turn, life rises and fades, but the expansion continues, steady and eternal. It is the heartbeat of creation, so gentle we cannot feel it, so vast we cannot escape it. And in that endless motion, there is no urgency. The universe is not racing anywhere. It expands because that is its nature, just as a flower blooms or a wave rolls to shore. Its silence is not emptiness, it is peace. The galaxies drift, time unfolds, light stretches into the dark, and the universe breathes on, softly, forever. The further we look into the universe, the deeper we look into time. Every point of light in the night sky is a memory, an echo of what once was. The stars above you are not as they are now, but as they were long ago, their light crossing the silent ocean of space for countless ages before reaching your eyes. The universe keeps its history not in books or stone, but in light itself, written across time with each passing wave. This is why the edge of what we can see is also the edge of what we can know. Light moves at a constant pace, and time flows alongside it. The more distant a galaxy is, the older the image we see. We observe newborn galaxies that existed when the universe was still young, when matter was just beginning to gather into stars. The further back we look, the closer we come to the beginning, to the first sparks of light that broke through the ancient darkness. Yet beyond a certain point, the light runs out. The horizon of time meets the horizon of space, and we can go no further. The earliest light, the glow left from the universe's beginning, still reaches us as a faint background, a soft whisper from an era before stars, before galaxies, before anything we could recognize. It surrounds us completely, uniform and eternal, the echo of the first dawn. Beyond that glow lies the true darkness, the time before time, when light itself was trapped in a dense fog of energy. Time in the universe is not a straight line stretching infinitely forward. It bends and folds under the weight of gravity and the expansion of space. The faster the universe expands, the more distant its future becomes. The light from certain galaxies will never reach us because space between us and them grows faster than light can travel. Those galaxies exist now, but they are already beyond our future. Their present will never enter our timeline. This boundary is called the cosmic horizon. It is not a physical wall, but a limit set by time and motion. Inside it, we can see and interact. Beyond it, light cannot reach us, and no signal we send will ever escape to those distant places. It is the ultimate boundary of time itself, the place where the past and the future part ways. We live within a bubble of visibility, a sphere defined not by space, but by history. If you could drift outward toward that horizon, you would not feel it. There would be no sign, no mark, no edge, but slowly, the galaxies behind you would fade. Their light stretched thinner and thinner until it vanished completely. Ahead, the darkness would deepen, not because there is nothing there, but because time itself moves differently. The further you go, the slower the clock of the universe ticks, until eventually, beyond a certain point, it stops from our perspective. The light cannot move forward. The future cannot reach us. And yet, from the other side, an observer in that far region would see us in the same way, as a faint glimmer from the distant past, fading into the slow red twilight of time. To them, we are part of the horizon, a memory of what once was. The universe is like an endless hall of mirrors, each point reflecting light and time in every direction, each observer surrounded by their own horizon of what can be seen. This symmetry is beautiful. It means that no one place is more central than another, no one moment more real than the rest. Every point in the universe carries its own version of the story, shaped by time, light, and distance. The cosmic horizon is not a barrier between beings, but a connection through history, a quiet acknowledgement that everything, everywhere, is bound by time's slow unfolding. As the universe expands, the horizon grows, but so does the silence beyond it. Light that leaves our galaxy today will one day cross that limit and drift forever, unreachable, its message frozen in motion. It will never fade, but it will never be seen. In this way, the universe writes its story endlessly, with chapters that no reader will ever finish. And yet, within this infinite tale, we exist for a moment, aware, curious, alive. To understand that we can see the past, but not the future, is to glimpse the depth of time itself. The light from distant galaxies is not just illumination. It is history, memory, and evidence of how far the universe has come. Beyond the cosmic horizon, time continues its quiet work, shaping worlds we will never know. The universe does not hide its secrets from cruelty, but from scale. Its story is too large for a single lifetime, too vast for a single perspective. And perhaps that is the point, to be a witness, not to everything, but to enough to understand that we are part of something infinite. The horizon of time is both a limit and a comfort. It shows us that the universe is still unfolding, still expanding its story, still carrying light from the past into the unknown future. And as we watch that light fade into the quiet distance, we are reminded that time does not end. It simply moves beyond our sight, continuing its eternal rhythm, softly, forever. When we speak of what lies beyond the edge of the universe, we are often thinking in 3 dimensions: length, width, and height, the familiar space in which we move. But what if beyond those lies something more? Layers of existence that fold and curve beyond our senses. The universe, as modern physics describes it, may not be limited to the space we know. There may be hidden dimensions all around us, silent and unseen, woven into the very fabric of reality. The idea of hidden dimensions is not fantasy. It comes from the mathematics that describe how the universe works. Theories that unite gravity with the other forces of nature, theories like string theory, suggest that space may have more than 3 dimensions. Perhaps there are 10, or 11, or even more, but most of them are curled so tightly that we can never perceive them directly. Like threads wound inside a rope, they shape everything without revealing themselves. If these extra dimensions exist, they may explain why the universe behaves the way it does. Gravity, for example, seems weaker than the other forces of nature, spreading gently across the cosmos. But if gravity can travel through higher dimensions while light and matter are trapped in 3, its weakness becomes an illusion. Its strength diffused through space we cannot see. The vast structure of galaxies, the motion of stars, even the shape of the universe itself could all be influenced by the hidden geometry of unseen dimensions. These invisible directions might also hold the key to understanding the universe's beginning. The moment we call the birth of everything could have been the unfolding of dimensions, the opening of space from a state too small for light or time to exist. In that first instant, hidden dimensions may have expanded and then collapsed again, leaving behind only the 3 that remained large enough for us to inhabit. The echoes of that transformation may still hum faintly in the background of space, like the aftertones of a chord struck long ago. If we could see these dimensions, what would they look like? Perhaps they are not vast planes or directions in the usual sense, but patterns, vibrations of energy that exist at every point in space. Each particle, each atom, Each breath of air may carry the shape of hidden dimensions within it. They are not separate from us. They are folded into the structure of everything that is. In the same way that shadows reveal the shape of unseen light, the laws of physics may be the shadow of these deeper dimensions. The constants of nature, the strength of forces, the masses of particles, all may arise from how space is folded beyond our view. To explore the universe fully is to realize that what we can measure is only a projection of something larger, something that surrounds and sustains all things. Some theories go even further. They suggest that entire universes could exist in other dimensions, floating beside ours like pages in an infinite book. These neighboring universes might be separated from us by only the smallest distance in a direction we cannot move. They could be similar to ours or completely different, governed by their own versions of space, time, and energy. The edge of our universe might simply be the boundary between dimensions, the surface of one world brushing against another. And yet, even if these hidden dimensions exist, they remain quiet. They do not shout their presence. They whisper through gravity, through the patterns of light, through the delicate harmony that binds matter together. Their influence is everywhere, but their form is nowhere to be seen. The universe is like a song we can hear but cannot see the notes of, a melody played on strings that vibrate across dimensions beyond our reach. To think of this is to feel both small and infinite at once. We live in 3 dimensions, yet we are surrounded by more. Every motion, every atom, every ray of light carries the imprint of a larger reality. What lies beyond the universe may not be distance but depth, layers within existence itself, folded so tightly that only their echoes remain. Perhaps one day, through deeper understanding or gentler observation, we will sense them not with our eyes but with our minds. Until then, the hidden dimensions remain what they have always been. Silent architects of the cosmos, unseen yet essential, shaping every moment of our existence with the calm precision of eternity. If the universe is infinite, could it reflect itself? Could there be another version of everything, another Earth, another you, existing in a place beyond our perception? The idea of mirror realities, of parallel universes, is more than imagination. It rises naturally from the mathematics of space and time, from the quiet suggestion that infinity might repeat itself in endless variations. In an infinite universe, every arrangement of matter could occur again, not by intention but by probability. The stars might align the same way somewhere else. The atoms might form another planet like ours. And on that planet, a being might look up at the night sky and ask the same questions. That reflection would not be mystical. It would be statistical, a result of infinity folding in on itself. Yet there may be deeper mirrors still. According to the theory of quantum physics, every event that can happen does happen, somewhere in some version of reality. When a particle chooses a path, the universe divides. One path taken here, another taken there, each becoming real in its own dimension. These countless possibilities create a vast multiverse, not of separate bubbles drifting apart, but of overlapping realities, all existing together like reflections in a cosmic hall of mirrors. If such mirror universes exist, they might not be far away. They might occupy the same space as ours, invisible only because they vibrate at different frequencies of reality. Like 2 songs played at once, but in separate tones, they could exist side by side, never touching, never hearing one another. Each universe would feel complete, unaware that others move quietly beside it. Some physicists imagine entire realms of universes, each with its own laws of physics. In one, gravity might be stronger. In another, stars might live shorter lives. In yet another, matter might never have formed at all. These are not fantasies but possible outcomes of the equations that describe how space and energy behave. The universe may not be a single event, but one of many, born from a deeper sea of creation where universes appear and fade like waves. If we could step beyond our own cosmic horizon, perhaps we would see these reflections. Not identical, but familiar, distant lights, echoing the same fundamental patterns, like branches of the same ancient tree. Our universe might not be the trunk, but one of many limbs, each growing in a different direction, yet all connected at the root of existence. The concept of mirror universes also reshapes how we think about time. In one version, time might move as it does for us, forward, steady, unstoppable. In another, it could flow backward, or in circles, or not at all. In one universe, a star might just be forming. In another, that same star might have already faded into darkness. Time itself could be different in each reflection, every possibility allowed by the rules of creation. But even if infinite versions of existence surround us, we remain part of the same grand pattern. Every universe, no matter how different, is bound by motion and energy. The rhythm of creation repeats across them all, like a melody played in endless variations. What connects these reflections is not space or time, but harmony, the universal balance that gives rise to being itself. If you imagine standing at the edge of everything, looking outward into the void, perhaps what lies beyond is not darkness, but reflection. The universe may look back at you through the eyes of another self, another world, another version of the same endless motion. Each reflection would shimmer like glass, bending light and time into infinite forms, each aware only of its own quiet reality. And yet, despite all these mirrors, you remain central to your universe. Your version of existence is real, complete, and whole. You are the reflection that sees itself, the consciousness through which the universe understands it exists. Whether there are 1,000 realities or one, the experience of being here now, in this moment, is a unique note in the infinite song. Beyond the visible universe may lie countless others, each breathing in its own rhythm, each whispering its own truth. But even if we never touch them, we are part of their symmetry. The same laws, the same wonder, the same quiet balance echo through them all. The universe is not a single mirror. It is an endless gallery of reflections, each one shining softly, each one part of the same eternal light. Darkness is often mistaken for emptiness, yet in the universe it is full of motion, energy, and hidden light. The darkness between the stars is not absence but structure, the quiet body of the cosmos holding its shape beyond the reach of sight. When you gaze into the night sky and see only black between the stars, you are looking into something alive, deep, and endlessly rich. The universe is built upon this darkness. Light travels through it, time flows within it, and gravity sculpts it into form. It is the background against which every star and galaxy glows, the canvas of creation. But this canvas is not still. It vibrates with invisible radiation, faint echoes from the beginning of everything. That glow, stretched thin by time and distance, fills all of space, a silent reminder that the universe was once brighter than any sun. Beyond the galaxies, the darkness grows thicker. There are vast regions of space, cosmic voids, where almost no stars exist. These are the quiet places of the universe, where light rarely travels and matter is sparse. Yet even there, faint trails of gas, drifting dust, and invisible particles remain. Gravity moves softly through those regions, guiding what little matter there is, preparing the stage for new worlds to form millions of years from now. We often think of light as the source of knowledge, but darkness has its own wisdom. It is patient, constant, unchanging. It hides the future while holding the past. Within its silence, everything that ever was and ever will be takes shape. The stars themselves are born in darkness, within clouds of dust so dense that light cannot escape. Only when gravity pulls hard enough does the first spark break through, and a new sun is born from the shadows. Even black holes, the deepest darkness of all, are not truly voids. They are the densest forms of matter, regions where gravity is so strong that light cannot climb free. But inside their darkness, the laws of physics bend into something extraordinary. The energy they hold is immense. Their rotation stirs space itself. Around them, time slows, light bends, and matter swirls in spirals of glowing fire. Their darkness is not the absence of existence, but the transformation of it. The place where the universe folds in on itself. Beyond the event horizon of a black hole, space and time lose their familiar meaning. What lies there we cannot know, yet every theory suggests that black holes are not ends but bridges, transitions to something else. Some think they lead to other universes, others to new beginnings, where the matter they consume is reborn in another form. If so, even in the deepest darkness, there is renewal. The universe hides its continuity within its shadows. And then there is dark energy, the invisible force that drives the expansion of everything. It is the gentlest form of power imaginable, pushing galaxies apart without sound, without light, without touch. It acts everywhere at once, filling the spaces between stars, between atoms, between moments. It cannot be seen, but its influence defines the shape of the future. Darkness, it seems, is not the enemy of creation. It is the mechanism through which the universe grows. When you look into the night sky, remember that the darkness is not empty. It carries light you cannot see, radiation stretched beyond color, energy so faint that no eye could detect it. It holds particles of dust that will one day become planets, gas that will one day ignite into stars, and silent waves of gravity passing unnoticed through your body. The blackness of space is the universe at rest, breathing slowly between bursts of light. In a way, the darkness beyond the edge of the universe is not different from the darkness within it. Both are filled with potential, both alive with invisible motion. What lies beyond may not be brighter or colder, only quieter. The universe expands into itself, and darkness expands with it. Not as a void swallowing the light, but as a sea carrying it onward. If you close your eyes, you can feel this truth. The darkness behind your eyelids is not the absence of vision, but the space in which light will soon appear. The same is true of the cosmos. The darkness between the stars is the space where new light will one day be born. It is not an ending, but a pause, the silent heartbeat of eternity. The other side of darkness, then, is not light, but understanding. It is the realization that both exist together, one defining the other, one giving meaning to the other. Without darkness, light would have no place to shine. Without light, darkness would have no shape. The universe breathes through both, endlessly alternating between creation and quiet. And so, beyond the edge of what we can see, beyond the last faint galaxy, beyond even the reach of light, the universe continues. Dark, yes, but not empty. Full of unseen energy, patient motion, and infinite calm. The other side of darkness is the continuation of everything, where the universe rests in silence before beginning again. Light is the storyteller of the universe, carrying every memory, every shape, every moment across the vastness of space. It moves without rest, crossing galaxies, slipping between worlds, tracing the outlines of creation itself. Though it travels endlessly forward, it also weaves the past into the present, leaving reflections of everything that has ever been. Every ray of light is a message, a whisper of existence that refuses to fade. When light leaves a star, it begins a journey that may never end. Some of it travels to nearby planets, warming their surfaces, awakening life. Some of it drifts into the void, never to touch another thing, stretching thinner and softer as the universe expands. And some of it is captured, bent by gravity, trapped by black holes, absorbed by dust, reflected by ice. No matter where it goes, no matter what it meets, it continues its silent dialogue with the universe. The universe itself is a hall of mirrors, each galaxy reflecting light into countless directions. Starlight bounces off gas clouds, dust grains and particles so small they are invisible. Each reflection carries a new shape, a new pattern, a new story. The light that reaches us tonight may have touched 1,000 surfaces before finding its way here, gathering whispers of its journey as it traveled. In this endless reflection, light creates a kind of memory that transcends time. The faintest photons from the earliest stars still move through space, their color softened, their strength diminished, but their story intact. Even when absorbed by matter, light is not truly gone. It changes form, becoming warmth, energy, motion. It leaves its signature behind in the particles it touches. Every atom in your body has been struck by ancient light, marked by its passage, part of a story older than the earth itself. As light moves, gravity bends its path, curving it around massive objects like galaxies and clusters of stars. This bending, called gravitational lensing, allows the universe to look at itself. A single distant galaxy can appear many times in the sky, its image mirrored and multiplied by gravity's invisible hand. In this way, the cosmos reflects its own beauty back upon itself, using light as both brush and mirror. The reflections are not perfect. Some are blurred, stretched, or distorted, their shapes twisted by space's curvature. Yet even in those imperfections lies elegance, the universe painting itself with the tools of its own laws. Light does not resist the pull of gravity. It flows with it, following the soft curves of space-time like a river through a valley. Each bend, each ripple, adds to the endless pattern of reflection. But the most beautiful truth of all is that light never stops. Even when it fades beyond what our eyes can see, it continues its journey. As the universe expands, its waves grow longer, their energy weaker, until they become part of the gentle cosmic background, the faint afterglow that fills every corner of space. The light of the first stars still exists, stretched into invisible wavelengths that hum quietly all around us. This endless reflection gives the universe its memory. Light remembers everything it touches. It carries the image of galaxies long gone, the birth of stars that no longer burn, the collision of worlds that turn to dust. When we capture its faint traces with telescopes, we are not looking into space, but into history. The light of the cosmos is a record without writing, a story told without words. Even you are part of this reflection. The photons that strike your eyes bounce back into space, their direction changed ever so slightly, carrying the trace of your presence. Your body emits light too, faint and invisible, but real, infrared waves, soft warmth radiating into the dark. You are both an observer and a participant in the universe's endless play of light. And so, as light travels onward, reflecting, bending, stretching, it connects everything that exists. From the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, all are bound by its journey. Every moment shines for an instant, then becomes part of the endless reflection, merging into the quiet ocean of cosmic memory. Light is never lost. It may fade, it may change, it may drift beyond our sight, but its essence remains, woven into the universe like thread in a vast, invisible tapestry. The darkness around us is filled with it, moving softly, eternally, carrying the story of everything that ever was and everything that will ever be. If the universe continues to expand forever, what becomes of it in the end? The stars will not always burn. The galaxies will not always glow. One by one, the bright fires of creation will fade, leaving behind a quieter, colder cosmos. Yet even in this imagined stillness, there is beauty. The beauty of completion, of everything returning gently to silence. In the far future, time will stretch beyond all measure. The stars that shine tonight will exhaust their fuel and dim, their light fading into the black. Some will collapse into white dwarfs, faint embers glowing softly for billions of years. Others will die in great bursts, scattering their matter into space, creating new dust, new elements, new possibilities. But even that cycle cannot last forever. The birth of new stars depends on the gas and dust left behind by the old ones. And as that material is used up, the cosmic cradle will grow empty. The galaxies will slowly lose their sparkle. The Milky Way and its neighbors will merge into one massive, quiet system, its stars burning slower and redder as the ages pass. Farther away, other galaxies will slip beyond our cosmic horizon, carried by expansion until their light can no longer reach us. The night sky, once filled with countless stars, will grow darker, quieter, lonelier. But this is not destruction. The energy of stars will not vanish. It will simply spread thinner and cooler, dissolving into the great sea of space. Even when the last visible light fades, the universe will still glow faintly with infrared heat, the quiet warmth of existence continuing in whispers. The silence that follows will not be empty. It will be filled with the gentle hum of particles moving slowly through the vastness, carrying the memory of all that once was. Planets, too, will change. Some will drift from their stars, cast into the dark, becoming cold wanderers between galaxies. Others will fall into black holes, their matter added to the deep wells of gravity that dot the universe. And those black holes will remain, silent and powerful, the last guardians of matter and memory. Around them, time will slow until it almost stops. They will hold the final light of the cosmos, each one a dark sun at the end of time. But even black holes do not last forever. Over unimaginable stretches of time, they will slowly release their energy through radiation, growing smaller and weaker until they too vanish into the quiet. The matter they consumed will return to space as faint energy, spread thinly across the endless dark. What remains will be a universe filled only with light so weak and particles so cold that motion itself becomes rare. This distant era is sometimes called the heat death. Not a death in the human sense, but a stillness, a balance. Energy will no longer flow from one place to another. Stars will no longer shine. Time will lose its rhythm. The universe will not end with an explosion or a collapse, but with a sigh, a slow fading into equilibrium. And yet, even that quietness is not nothing. It is the completion of a story that began in brilliance and ends in peace. Perhaps this is the destiny of all things, to shine, to fade, to rest. Just as every star has its lifetime, so too may the universe have its great cycle of light and silence. The energy that once formed galaxies will remain, transformed but eternal. Like the echo of a song long after the music has stopped, the universe will not disappear. It will become subtle, calm, and timeless. It is possible, too, that the story does not end there. Some theories suggest that from the silence of the cold universe, new beginnings might emerge. Tiny fluctuations in the emptiness could spark new space, new time, new creation. Another universe born from the quiet ashes of the old. If so, then every ending is only a pause, every silence a breath before the next dawn. So when you think of the universe's frozen future, do not imagine despair. Imagine peace, the same peace that comes at the end of a long day. When the fire burns low, and the stars outside fall into stillness. The universe, having spent its brilliance, will finally rest. Every light will have shone, every motion will have moved, and everything that will have found its place in the eternal calm. And in that stillness, perhaps something unseen will remain. Not matter, not energy, but the memory of existence itself, the pattern of what once was, carried forever in the structure of space, like a gentle imprint left upon infinity. The cosmos may cool, but it will never forget. The frozen future of the universe, then, is not darkness or despair. It is serenity, the long breath between cycles, the pause before renewal. The light may fade, but the story continues, quietly, endlessly, forever. Time feels constant to us. Seconds flow into minutes, minutes into hours, always steady, always predictable. But in the vastness of the universe, time does not move the same way everywhere. It bends and stretches, speeds up and slows down, shaped by gravity, motion, and the expansion of space itself. And as the universe grows older, time will begin to lose its rhythm, its steady pulse fading into something slower, softer, quieter. From the beginning, time has been tied to change. Stars burn, galaxies drift, atoms move, and through that motion, time flows. But when change becomes rare, when motion slows and energy fades, time itself begins to stretch. In the frozen future of the cosmos, where light has dimmed and the last stars have gone out, time will move so slowly that ages will pass unnoticed. The universe will continue, but its heartbeat will be faint, like the echo of a rhythm that once filled all existence. Gravity, too, shapes time. Near massive objects, where gravity is strong, time runs slower. Around black holes, it almost stops. To an outside observer, anything falling into a black hole seems frozen at its edge, never crossing fully, its image stretched and faded into stillness. Within that stillness, the flow of time becomes almost meaningless. The deeper the gravity, the slower the moments. It is as if the universe itself takes a breath and holds it, waiting for something that will never come. In the far future, black holes will be among the last places where time still has weight. As the rest of space grows cold and empty, their immense gravity will continue to twist the flow of time, holding the last sparks of matter in their embrace. Around them, moments will pass differently. What feels like eternity outside may be only an instant within. Time will no longer be a river but a pool, deep and calm, its surface unbroken. Eventually, even that will fade. As the expansion continues, galaxies will drift apart faster than light can connect them. Each will become isolated, alone in its own bubble of space-time. The stars inside will fade, the black holes will dissolve, and the flow of energy will stop. When nothing moves, when no heat transfers, when no particle collides, time will lose its meaning. It will not end. It will simply slow until stillness and eternity become the same. To imagine such stillness is not to imagine death, but transformation. Time as we know it depends on change, on cause and effect, on one moment leading to the next. But in the distant future, when everything that can happen has already happened, time will no longer need to move. It will settle into balance, every possibility fulfilled, every path completed. The universe will not stop existing. It will simply stop changing. Even now, traces of this stillness exist, in the quiet between heartbeats, in the pause before sleep. In the still air of a silent room, we feel echoes of cosmic calm. The slowing of time is not just a physical process. It is also an idea, a reminder that motion and silence are part of the same song. Just as a wave rises and falls, the flow of time swells and softens, never truly stopping but always finding its rhythm again. Perhaps this is the destiny of time, to move until movement itself becomes unnecessary, to create, to expand, to rest. In that final stillness, the universe will not vanish. It will remain serene and whole, a perfect balance of motion and peace. The seconds will stretch into forever, not as emptiness, but as a kind of infinite now, where every moment exists at once, layered and complete. For us, time is motion, a sequence of change. But for the universe, time may end, not with an explosion or collapse, but with calm. The same calm that follows a long journey, the same peace that comes when everything finds its place. If you imagine floating in that distant era, you would see no stars, no galaxies, no light, only the quiet shimmer of space itself, frozen in its final form. You would not feel time pass because time, at last, would have learned to rest. The universe, after endless ages of expansion, would exhale one last breath and fall into perfect stillness, not ending, but existing beyond the need for beginning or end. And maybe that is eternity. Not endless time, but timelessness. The moment when motion and rest become the same. When everything that ever was becomes everything that ever will be. In that stillness, there is no loss, no fear, no waiting, only peace. The universe will not die. It will sleep, cradled in its own silence, dreaming of what once was and what may come again. When the universe grows quiet, when the last stars fade and time slows to stillness, does the story truly end? Or does it begin again in another form? In the long silence that follows creation, there may be something that continues, something beyond light, beyond matter, beyond even time itself. The universe, in its vast calm, may begin to dream. To dream is to remember, to imagine, to let thoughts flow without motion. The cosmos may do the same. Long after its fires have dimmed, its memory remains, woven into the fabric of space, imprinted in the faintest energies, preserved in the patterns of gravity that still shape the invisible. The universe, even in sleep, does not forget. It holds within it every spark, every echo, every moment of brilliance that ever existed. We can already see hints of this dream in the way the universe reflects its own history. The light that reaches us from the farthest galaxies carries stories billions of years old. When we look up, we do not see the universe as it is, but as it was, a living memory spread across the sky. Every photon that touches your eyes tonight began its journey long before our world was born. You are seeing the past in motion, the dream of what once was. If the universe could dream, perhaps it would not dream in images or sounds, but in balance, in the gentle rhythm of expansion and rest, creation and silence. The galaxies drifting apart are like thoughts fading into the distance, while the lingering light of old stars becomes memory itself. The cosmic dream may not be about events, but about harmony. The quiet continuity of being. Even now, when you look into the night sky, you are witnessing the universe dreaming. The stars are thoughts of light scattered through an ocean of space. The blackness between them is not emptiness, but the pause between dreams, the silence that gives meaning to the brightness. Everything in the cosmos exists within this balance. Light and dark, motion and stillness, energy and rest. It is a pattern that never ends, only shifts from one form to another. In that sense, the universe is not a machine but a living story, not alive in the way we are, but alive in motion, in connection, in memory. The same energy that powers the stars also beats in your heart. The same particles that were born in the first moments of creation form your body now. You are not separate from the universe. You are part of its dream. You are one of its thoughts, conscious for a short time, reflecting on the infinite. As the universe ages and quiets, perhaps awareness does not vanish, but expands. If every particle, every wave, every bit of energy carries information, then even in stillness, that information remains. The universe could hold within it the memory of itself, not as words or images, but as structure, the silent architecture of everything that ever was. In that frozen moment, everything might exist at once, perfectly balanced, perfectly known. And maybe that is what eternity means. Not endless years, but the absence of time altogether. A state where everything that could happen has happened, where every light that ever shone still exists in some way, its trace never lost. In that sense, the universe is not dying. It is remembering. It is holding itself in stillness, preserving every story it ever told. If you could drift through that final cosmic calm, you would not hear or see anything, yet you might feel a presence, the quiet hum of existence still alive beneath the silence. The universe's dream is not about creation or destruction, but about continuity. It breathes through all cycles, always becoming, always remembering, never truly stopping. We are part of that dream, brief yet essential. Each thought, each heartbeat, each breath contributes to the larger whole, just as each star once added its light to the sky. When we sleep, we dream too. And perhaps in our small way, we echo the same eternal rhythm. The universe dreams through us, and through our curiosity, it awakens to itself again. In the end, when all light fades and all sound ceases, the dream will continue, quiet, infinite, and serene. The universe will rest within its own memory, peaceful in the knowledge that nothing is ever lost. Every moment, every life, every star remains part of the same endless story, written in silence, carried forever in the dreaming mind of the cosmos. At the end of all motion, when time has slowed beyond recognition and light has stretched into the invisible, there remains silence. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of completion. It is the sound of everything that has ever existed finally coming to rest, the echo of creation fading gently into calm. This boundless silence is not a void. It is the natural breath of the cosmos, the final note in an eternal symphony. In this silence, space still exists, vast and endless, but still. Every particle, every wave of energy, every trace of matter has spread so far that it no longer meets another. There are no collisions, no warmth, no friction, only quiet equilibrium. The universe has not vanished. It has balanced itself. What began as fire has become serenity. What began in chaos has found stillness. The silence that follows creation is not the end of sound, but the perfection of it. Sound, like time, requires change, motion between points, energy moving through a medium. When the universe expands so far that space is almost empty, the medium for sound disappears. There is nothing left to carry a vibration, nothing left to disturb the peace. What remains is a deeper music, one not heard but felt, the soft rhythm of existence continuing beneath stillness. If you could stand within that boundless quiet, you would not feel loneliness or loss. You would feel presence. The presence of everything that ever was, resting together in harmony. The silence would not be empty. It would be full, filled with the memory of all that came before. The faint traces of every star, every world, every life would still linger, woven into the invisible structure of space. Nothing is ever truly lost. It only changes form, becoming part of the great calm. The silence of the universe is also the silence within us. In every moment of stillness, in every quiet breath, we mirror that cosmic peace. The atoms that make up our bodies once burned in stars, once sang with light, once drifted through the early universe. Now they are still part of a greater balance. When we listen to silence, we are listening to the same stillness that fills the cosmos, the silence that connects everything. Perhaps this is the true nature of the universe, not noise or conflict, not creation or destruction, but balance. A rhythm that moves from motion to rest, from light to dark, from sound to silence. The end of all things is not a fall into nothingness, but a return to harmony, the same harmony that existed before the first spark. In that sense, silence is not the opposite of creation, but its completion. Every sound fades, every star dims, every wave of energy softens, and yet the pattern remains. The silence holds the memory of the song. The space holds the memory of the light. The universe remembers itself through quiet, through calm, through infinite rest. If you could drift endlessly through that final stillness, you would not find borders or endings. There would be no edge, no horizon, no final curtain. The silence would stretch in all directions, endless and peaceful, like a sea without beginning or end. You would become part of it, not as a separate being, but as a continuation of what has always been. Matter, light, thought, all merging into the still breath of eternity. And in that silence, there would be understanding. The universe has never been cruel or kind, bright or dark. It has only been. Its silence is the truth behind every sound, the calm beneath every storm, the peace that follows every creation. It is not death but balance, not ending but fulfillment. The boundless silence is the universe's final gift, the realization that even when all motion stops, existence remains. Nothing truly vanishes, it only rests. The stars may fade, time may slow, but the essence of being continues, quietly, endlessly, forever. In the end, the universe will not explode, collapse, or disappear. It will listen to itself, to the echoes of its own light, to the quiet hum that has always been there beneath all motion. The boundless silence is not the absence of life, but the perfection of it, the moment when everything, at last, becomes whole. Even in the deepest silence, light leaves its trace. It does not simply vanish when it fades from sight. It becomes part of the universe's memory. Every photon that has ever existed, every glimmer that has ever crossed the dark, has touched something. A particle, a field, a grain of dust. And in that touch, it has changed reality ever so slightly. Those changes, tiny and eternal, are the memory of light. Long after the last stars have gone dark, their light will still travel through the expanding universe. Stretched thin by the endless growth of space, it will soften into gentle waves, invisible to any eye yet still there, moving quietly between the galaxies that no longer shine. The light from the first dawn of creation, the same light that once illuminated the newborn cosmos, will still exist, faded, faint, but never gone. Even when photons lose their strength, they leave imprints on what they touch. The warmth of sunlight on a rock, the glow of a nebula against the dark, the reflection of starlight in the ocean of a planet. Each of these is a mark in time, a sign that light has passed. The universe keeps those marks, even as it changes. Nothing in creation is untouched by light, and nothing that light has touched is ever completely forgotten. In the cold future of the cosmos, when no new stars are born and the galaxies grow silent, the universe will still hold this luminous history. The background radiation that fills space, the faint hum left from the beginning, will remain, stretched across eternity. It is the echo of the universe remembering its own birth, the faintest possible glow of existence itself. We too are part of that memory. The atoms in our bodies were forged in the hearts of stars, shaped by light, bound by the energy that once illuminated the heavens. Every breath you take carries within it particles that were once part of a star's flame, once part of a sun's radiant pulse. You are made of light's legacy, the visible and invisible traces of the universe's oldest memories. Perhaps this is why light feels sacred to us. It is more than brightness or warmth. It is connection. When you see light reflected in the eyes of another, you are seeing the same cosmic energy that once illuminated galaxies now long gone. The same photons that left distant stars may fall upon your skin, crossing billions of years to reach you. You are, in a very real sense, being touched by ancient history. And when all light eventually fades, when there is nothing left to see, its memory will remain in the structure of everything. The universe will still remember how to shine, even if no one is left to witness it. The gentle waves of radiation, the frozen imprints in matter, the balance of energy across space, all of it will carry the quiet story of illumination. Light, like thought, cannot be destroyed. It changes, it spreads, it transforms. It becomes warmth, motion, vibration, and finally, memory. The universe's silence is not the end of light, but the completion of its journey. Every photon fulfills its purpose, to travel, to touch, to remind reality that it exists. Even now, in the night sky, you can feel that memory around you. The faint glow of distant galaxies, the soft shimmer of starlight, the reflection of the moon. All are chapters of the same story. The universe does not forget its own brilliance. It carries it quietly, endlessly, through the rhythm of time. And so, when the final lights fade and all becomes still, the memory of light will remain, woven into the fabric of space, humming softly beneath the silence. The universe will remember every glow, every warmth, every heartbeat of brilliance it ever held. Light will never be lost, only transformed into the quiet memory of all that was, an eternal whisper across the stillness of infinity. Between every star, between every planet, between every atom, there is space. We often call it emptiness, but that is not what it truly is. The space between things is not nothing. It is the thread that connects everything. It holds the structure of the universe together, invisible but unbreakable, silent but full of meaning. The vacuum of space seems empty because our eyes are tuned for light, and light is rare out there. But even in the darkest regions, the void hums with quiet energy. It is filled with particles that blink in and out of existence, with waves that stretch across infinity, with forces that never rest. What we call nothing is in truth the foundation of everything. Every atom in your body floats within space. Most of what you are is space. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a grain of sand, its electrons would orbit at the distance of a cathedral's dome. The space between them is vast, yet that emptiness gives matter its form. The same is true for galaxies. They are islands of light, separated by oceans of darkness, but those oceans give the islands meaning. The universe is made not only of things, but of the space that holds them apart. This space is not static. It moves, it stretches, it breathes. The expansion of the universe is not just the galaxies moving away from each other, but space itself growing larger, carrying everything within it. Even the smallest region of the void participates in this movement. The space between worlds is alive in its own way, not with sound or thought, but with balance. If you could drift in the vast distance between galaxies, you would feel no air, no warmth, no sound. Yet around you, the faint shimmer of radiation would still glow. Invisible fields would ripple gently. Gravity would stretch across unimaginable distances, linking you to stars you cannot see. You would not be alone. You would be part of the quiet web that connects all things. That web, The invisible network of gravity, energy, and time binds the cosmos into one. It ensures that no star, no world, no atom is truly isolated. Every motion, no matter how small, echoes across the structure of space. When a star collapses, when a planet moves, when you take a breath, that change sends ripples through the invisible fabric. The space between worlds feels those ripples, carries them, remembers them. In this way, the universe is one continuous whole. The galaxies are not separate objects scattered in the dark. They are notes in the same song, harmonizing through the quiet resonance of space. Even the gaps between them are part of the melody, the pauses that give rhythm to the cosmic symphony. Without the silence between sounds, music could not exist. Without the space between worlds, the universe would have no shape. The emptiness of space is the greatest illusion of all. It is not an absence, but a presence so subtle that it escapes our senses. Within that apparent void lies the power that allows matter to exist, the laws that govern motion, the energy that drives creation. Space is not where things happen. It is what makes things possible. So when we ask what lies between worlds, the answer is simple and profound. Connection. The same energy that moves the stars moves through you. The same space that carries galaxies carries every atom in your being. You are part of the distance, part of the structure, part of the quiet motion that holds the universe together. In that realization, there is peace. The space between worlds is not a separation, but a bond. It is where everything meets without touching, where light travels without sound, where time flows without hurry. It is the gentle breath of the cosmos, the soft pause between creation and stillness. If you could listen closely enough, you might hear it, not as sound, but as understanding. The space between worlds is the language of existence, spoken in silence, written in infinity. And in that silence, everything belongs, everything connects, everything continues. Time is often thought of as a line, moving forward, always leaving the past behind. But in the vastness of the universe, time is not so simple. It bends and curves. It loops and reflects. Every moment that passes does not vanish. It leaves an imprint, a ripple, an echo that continues through the structure of reality. In this way, time is a mirror, infinite, reflective, eternal. When you look at the stars, you are not seeing the present. You are looking into the past, into the light that has traveled for billions of years to reach your eyes. That light carries the image of what once was, frozen in its moment. The star may have changed or even died, but its light remains, crossing the endless night. In every direction, the sky is filled with memories. The universe is a museum of time, each ray of light a preserved fragment of history. But just as light carries the past to the present, the future is shaped by the shadows of what has been. Gravity remembers where matter once moved. The energy released by stars continues to ripple through the void, influencing what will come. The future is not built from nothing. It is built from the echoes of what came before. Time reflects itself, not in images we can see, but in causes that never stop unfolding. Even within your own body, time's reflection exists. The atoms that make you were once part of ancient stars, born, burned, and scattered long before the earth existed. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your breath, all are relics of stellar memory. You are made of the universe's past, living its reflection in the present moment. And just as you are made of history, your every action will ripple forward into time. The air you move, the warmth you release, the light you reflect, all continue their journey, however small, shaping what will come long after you are gone. In this way, The future already holds your reflection, even before you can see it. Some physicists believe that time may not flow in only one direction. In the deepest laws of physics, there is no distinction between forward and backward. The universe itself may not care which way time moves. It may see every moment at once. What we call now might be a thread through a larger fabric, where past, present, and future coexist like patterns woven into the same tapestry. In this infinite mirror, every event reflects another. The birth of stars mirrors their deaths. Creation mirrors destruction. Expansion mirrors collapse. Even thought reflects thought. Our minds replay memories, imagine futures, and dream of things that have not yet happened. Time, as we feel it, is a way for the universe to experience itself one reflection at a time. Imagine standing before this cosmic mirror. On one side, the past stretches back endlessly. Every star born, every galaxy formed, every moment that ever was. On the other side lies the future, unformed yet already written in possibility. You stand in between, the present moment, the line where reflection meets reflection. You are both the observer and the reflection itself. Perhaps this is why we feel nostalgia when looking at the stars. Somewhere deep inside we recognize the truth, that we are seeing ourselves across time. The light that touches your eyes has been waiting for you for billions of years. In that instant, you and the universe share the same reflection, the same awareness of existence. In this way, time does not erase. It records. Every motion, every vibration, every spark of energy leaves its trace upon the infinite mirror. The reflections may fade, but they never disappear. The universe remembers everything, not as memories in a mind, but as structure in its being. The pattern of time is woven into space, and space, in turn, is shaped by time's reflection. If you listen carefully, in the stillness of thought, you can feel that mirror all around you. The past whispers through your heartbeat. The future breathes in your hope. You are the reflection of what has been, and you are also the seed of will be. The infinite mirror holds you gently within its light, showing you that every moment, every breath, every thought belongs to eternity. And as the stars continue to burn, as galaxies drift apart, as the universe grows older, quieter, the mirror of time remains. It does not break, it does not fade. It only deepens, endless, luminous, serene.